Hello everyone, I'm a variety Twitch streamer Plasma Wasp and this is my favorite YouTube channel in the universe. Today is the day for a serious talk about Watch Dogs games. Nah, just kidding. Let's not be too serious. What is this video going to be about? I will try to respond a question. Is Watch Dogs 2 better than Watch Dogs 1? Watch Dogs 1 seemed to be really a disappointment on its release. Reviewers kept complaining about it being too repetitive without finding a way to stand out on its own. Hacking didn't seem to be enough for many players. Does Watch Dogs really suffers from an identity crisis? Was it a really huge waste of potential? I also found one which says, Watch Dogs uses women as stepping stones to get a protagonist from emotional point A to emotional point B. Women are just victims and plot points. I really had to laugh about this one. Like, really? Some people just don't play games to have fun, but to look for troubles. Let's compare the visual looks of both games. For me, the winner here is Watch Dogs 1. I prefer Chicago. They made the city look very realistic with many details. Stunning nature outside of the city, the weather changes, day-night cycles. I was definitely more aware of these things being part of the game in Watch Dogs 1. Watch Dogs 1 is a dark place and it fits its story well. Watch Dogs 2 on the other side has more cartoonish look with more colors. It screams welcome to San Francisco, the sunny and colorful city where you can mess around with the group of hackers and be happy all the time, no matter what happens. Now let's ask what is better for us players, because graphics and visuals lose its importance when your game freezes every few seconds of driving, and you know it's definitely not your computer. I didn't have any problems in Watch Dogs 2 except of the co-op part of the game, but I will talk about that part later. So let's wrap it up. Watch Dogs 1 and its Chicago has very dark, greyish, depressive look, but the city looks more real and believable in my opinion. The game performance is poor, especially when driving. Watch Dogs 2 and its San Francisco is very colorful and sunny. It's a positive and cheerful place, like some place you would go for a summer vacation. The game performance is great. Let's talk about non-player characters in Watch Dogs 1 and Watch Dogs 2, because they are part of the game and they make it look real or they don't. In Watch Dogs 1 I intruded so many private messages and calls, it was really fun. I was even finding these places where you could watch and listen to people who were at home. Another reason for hacking people was to gain money or crafting materials. Watch Dogs 1 has open world crime events. You can search area and find potential criminal and victim and help at the right moment. The interacting with people overall was interesting and funny. In Watch Dogs 2 I wasn't hacking people as much as in Watch Dogs 1. As soon as I got the perk which shows you the rich people, I stopped really caring about the others. So except of getting a crab man arrested or calling cops when a couple is arguing and the man hits the woman after she tells him that she cheated on him, there wasn't really that much interaction with people for me. I feel like instead of repeating things which were already in game, they could have come up with something new in Watch Dogs 2. Maybe a new type of open world events randomly happening when you approach some areas. So again, for me, Watch Dogs 1 has much more interesting interactions with NPCs than Watch Dogs 2. Let's talk about basically the most important thing in Watch Dogs games, and that is hacking. In Watch Dogs 1, hacking was the most important. While driving around and escaping from police and criminals, you could raise barriers, change traffic lights, burst steam pipes, or raise and lower bridges, and jam communications. With how difficult escaping was, it was really necessary to use At least some of those. Another way to use hacking, but not as important way, was in combat. For example, making things explode, plates on the ground or grenades enemies had on them, causing blackouts, everything goes dark so you can escape easily. I shouldn't forget the hacking puzzles you can solve in Watch Dogs 1. The goal here is to direct the flow by changing the rotation of the junction shapes. These special puzzles in Watch Dogs 1 are on a boring background, so it gets repetitive pretty fast. Now look at this beauty in Watch Dogs 2. The same puzzle hacking, but in the open world. Sometimes you need to use a jumper or a quadcopter to get to places where your character can't reach. It is extremely fun. It reminds me Batman Arkham Knight puzzles, which I really liked as well. Using RC jumper and quadcopter is what makes Watch Dogs 2 great for me. The jumper is usually covering the ground areas without physically moving your character into danger. It can complete most of the objectives for you except of untying prisoners or downloading information. It has an arm allowing it to interact with physical objects. Quadcopter doesn't have this function, but it can effectively scan the area, or it can still hack things for you, which is extremely useful. Hacking while driving wasn't really necessary in Watch Dogs 2 anymore. It was way too easy to escape police just by driving. And there aren't really any small bridges you could hack in San Francisco. The only useful way for me to use hacking while driving was to hack cars in your way and move them aside. For example, if you hack police cars which are chasing you and send them to a random location, it will definitely buy you some time necessary for you to escape. So what is in my opinion the most enjoyable? Definitely the hacking in Watch Dogs 2. It has more options, more variety, more hacking puzzles. The possibility to use a jumper or quadcopter is a great addition to the game. You crazy crane! Ah! The next thing I would like to talk about and compare is clothes and clothing stores in Watch Dogs games. And here comes the big disappointment. In Watch Dogs 1 the possibilities are really poor. What were they thinking? Watch Dogs is an open world game, right? With third person view, so you can obviously see your character all the time. And all the stores in Watch Dogs 1 has the same clothes. I was extremely disappointed when I arrived to each of them just to realize that it sells the same few pieces of clothes in every single each of them. In Watch Dogs 2 you have so many fashion options. You can customize the individual parts of outfits, not like the whole outfit only as it was in Watch Dogs 1. I found an information that there are over 700 different clothing items in Watch Dogs 2. There are 6 different stores in the game with very different styles of clothes. Then you have kiosks and clothing vending machines in the open world, usually with items related to the place where you find them. You can also find clothes hidden around the map. Once you pick them up, in this case it can be you or your jumper doing it, they will be unlocked in your hackerspace wardrobe. Hackerspaces has also their own vending machines with DedSec clothes. DedSec is the secret society of hackers and your character is one of them. The good thing here is that you can change to any outfit you already own in pretty much every store around. It saves time when you don't have to always return to the hackerspace to do it. And here comes the final verdict. It's truly a shame how little you can customize clothes in Watch Dogs 1. What a lazy work there. Watch Dogs 2 shines a lot in case of outfits. You can choose all from casual to formal and representative clothes or even totally crazy outfits. Don't forget to put your pants on or people will be laughing at you. How is the driving in Watch Dogs games? When driving in Watch Dogs 1 I really felt like the worst driver in the world. It was almost impossible to drive without bumping into something all the time. Police chases were almost impossible to win. Very frustrating moments when police cars are pushing you towards walls and towards civilians, so everybody gets killed. And it's not even your fault because there's nothing you can do about it. Watch Dogs 1 has side missions called the Fixer contracts. They usually involve racing or escaping cops, so you can imagine the pain. I finished them all because, well, I'm a completionist, but salt was present very often. In Watch Dogs 1, you unlock new cars by finding them in the open world and driving them. Then you can freely order them, but only when you are not in any missions. When I started playing Watch Dogs 2, people were coming to my stream and saying, "Wow, Plasma, you actually got so much better at driving." I was like, no guys, no, it's not me, it's the game. Driving in Watch Dogs 2 is a child's play compared to Watch Dogs 1. I could almost say that escaping from police is way too easy. Watch Dogs 2 driving missions are about being a taxi driver. It's pretty cool at the beginning when your customers have things to say, so there is some kind of story behind it. But later you just do it for the money. In Watch Dogs 2, you unlock new cars by buying them in the stores. Then you can order them for free whenever you want. What can I say? I wish Watch Dogs 1 wouldn't be such a fail in case of driving. I don't mind the police chases being hard and challenging, but only when the driving controls are responsive and they feel good. And in Watch Dogs 2, I feel like they wasted its potential. The escaping should have been much harder. Let's talk about story and missions in Watch Dogs games, and of course about the main protagonists. The story in Watch Dogs 1 is very dramatic and emotional, and it's driven by the main protagonist's feelings, the need of vengeance. His name is Aiden Pierce, and he is a very likable person in my opinion. I could truly care about him because I knew he had feelings. He loved his family and he would do everything for them. A sudden death of someone close in Watch Dogs 1 will make a mark. The mood will stay dark as it should be after terrible things happen. The main missions are divided into acts. Side missions are unfortunately not related to the main story, and you basically repeat things you were already doing in the story mission, just in different environments. The story in Watch Dogs 2 doesn't have the same emotional tension as it was in the first game. It has more of that I'm a cool hacker and I do cool things to gain followers. Watch Dogs 2 isn't dark at all. No matter what happens, a death of a close person seems to be forgotten pretty soon. Are all those characters in Watch Dogs 2 robots or something? The main protagonist, Marcus Holloway, didn't really earn much sympathy from me. I killed so many people as Marcus to do what? Gain millions of followers and make the world a better place? How many people have to die for that? That makes me wonder if dead sacks are even the good guys here. I liked how the side missions in Watch Dogs 2 were related to the story. The variety of mission types was great and I enjoyed all of them a lot. Overall, Watch Dogs 2 had a better story with more fun missions, but the main character was better in Watch Dogs 1 in my opinion. Last thing I would like to mention is the option to play multiplayer or co-op in Watch Dogs games. I know that both games have multiplayer PvP modes. I haven't really played them, so I can't compare them. But Watch Dogs 2 is special because there is a possibility to do co-op missions. I would say it's fun for 5, maybe 6 hours before it gets repetitive. The game performance in co-op mode was very poor for me, especially when driving around. The game was freezing for minutes. There were also quite many disconnections from my co-op partner, or even from the PvP missions we were doing together.
It is.
So also see it a bit foggy. Ah! Someone is trying to kill me! Oh no! I'm standing on my head! Do you see it?
Yeah, I see it on your stream now.
Oh my god.
Do you need help?
I will steal the bus. Can you?
Oh shit, can I get on the bus with you?
I don't know if you bus. Yeah, you can hijack a bus.
Oh, okay. Let's see if I can get in with you.
When I knock your teeth out of your head.
No, I can't get in.
Good luck.
But you know what? You know what? Yes.
Oh my
yes.
god, someone drove over you.
Over me?
Yeah, I saw it. You were on the
Oh, okay.
Oh, you
well,
can be on the top, maybe.
I'm on top of the bus!
Yay!
But I can see it.
Oh my god! It's everywhere. You're bleeding.
No.
You have menstruation, Soylent.
You are so childish. You're childish.
Soylent has menstruation. And the time for the truly final verdict is here. I love both Watch Dogs games, so I'm just going to recapitulate the most important things and let you guys and girls decide what you want to play. Watch Dogs 1 shines because of its realistic open world and fun interactions with non-player characters. The game is full of emotions and feelings. The main character Aiden Pierce wants to keep the people he cares about close and safe. He's a very likable person. Watch Dogs 1 weak points are very bad driving controls, repetitive missions, and poor clothing options. Watch Dogs 2 has extremely fun missions, very good driving controls, over 700 different clothing items, and it has options to play some co-op missions with friends. The weak points of Watch Dogs 2 are, in my opinion, boring interactions with non-player characters and no random open world events. The main character is not a very interesting person. I found it difficult to care about him. I probably cared more about some of his hacker friends. And this is the ending. It was the first time I was creating a video comparison, so please be gentle with your comments below. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, please drop a like, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, I recommend doing so, because I will be working on more video projects in the near future. Take care everyone, and I will see you next time. Ta-da!